Yeah, hi guys. This tutorial is about PHP sessions. Basically, I'll be going through PHP sessions where sessions can be used for websites like social networking or anywhere where you need a user to log into your website and perform any tasks. So this tutorial is a continuation of the login tutorial which I have. So there's another registration tutorial also, and then the login, and now it's about the PHP sessions. So basically I'll be going through one thing, that is when a user logs into your website, he is logged in by sessions. That means when he's redirected to his home page or profile page after logging in, if he switches off or turns off his browser and then later on turns on the browser and goes to his profile page, we need him to see his profile page there, and not the any other pages like that. So I'll go through this PHP sessions and I'll show you basically what we'll be doing. So okay, so this is the logged.php file which we had made in the login tutorial. So here we just have checked that the user is registered with our website and that the password entered by the user is matches with the password in the database. So now we will, instead of just echoing out "you are logged in," we will perform some other task where we will be logging in the user using sessions and make sure that every page is displayed using his session ID. And for now you can use as many session IDs as you want, but presently I'll be using the only session ID as the user ID. As you can see here in the database, we have an ID of the user which is unique to the user. We will be using that as our session ID in this tutorial. So let's start. Instead of echoing "you're logged in," we would want the user to be redirected to his profile page. For an instance, you can redirect him to the home page or any other page you want, but I'm just making the profile page for now. So let's just type in something and save this file as profile.php. save as type is PHP. All these files are in the same folder on my testing server. Okay, let's just make a small PHP tag and then include the HTML taggings and everything. Let's just copy the index page, just to save time in the tutorial. The title would be profile, and instead of the register in bold we can write this is, or instead of that we can just write profile, and we can just give it a bigger font. And okay, instead of the form here we would just write the name, username, or instead of that we can just write username and in bolds. Here would in this space we will be writing our username, but this is basic HTML part. I'll come to the username now. Okay, firstly in a logged.php file, when everything goes right and you want him to log in, you would want to fetch his ID, which we will be saving as a session ID. So to fetch the ID of the user, we have his username and password, and with reference to those both we can get his ID from the database. So the query I have placed here is from users, where username is username, and okay, using the same query, or you can just get the ID, because in our website we won't be having any two users with the same username, so that query will be fine for us. The second fetching query is this, so using this we will get our ID is equal to check password ID. Okay, so this variable is our ID, which we will be saving in a session. In order to start the session, you need to write session underscore start, and then you have to declare a session ID. For now I would be saying, for example, session ID is equal to the ID. That means here this is the session and this is the ID is equal to the database ID. We can again rename that as a UID, something like a user ID is equal to ID. So now we will be requiring this variable as our sessions ID now. So to redirect the user to the profile page, you just need this line and profile.php. Okay, so basically what I've done here is we have started a session, and then when the session has been started, we have used his database ID, which is a unique ID, and stored that in the session, and then rename that to a UID. You can use $ID also, but to make it more easier to understand for you, I've just renamed and redeclared another variable UID. So that's the redirect thing. Okay, so that is saved, and if you don't write this line too, there won't be any problem. Let's just don't write that. I'll show you what happens if we write and if we don't write. So when this is done, the user is redirected to the profile PHP page. So now when we can go to the profile PHP page, and in the starting first line, which you have to write, which is a must, is session start. When you are using sessions, every page where you want your session ID to be used, the first line of that page should be session underscore start. If you write something else before that, you will be having problems with your sessions. So the first thing which you would want to write is session underscore start. That means you have started your session on this particular page. So now we can fetch the session ID by just naming a variable like ID or UID or anything, session ID, or user ID is equal to session ID. So basically you can name it anything. You're fetching it from the session ID which you have saved previously when the user logged in. So now user ID is equal to the ID of the user in the database. Using that ID, you can fetch his username, password, pretty much anything which you want to fetch from his database of the particular logged in user. Okay, so now for this page we'll just fetch his username. Before that we just need to include the database connection file, and then the line would be select everything from users where ID is equal to user ID, and then fetch to fetch we want his username, that is fetch to username. Okay, now we fetched his username using his user ID. We fetched his username and we can use that username in anywhere on our website. So this is where we would be using our username, as I have closed the PHP tag here, and we want the PHP to be displayed in between the HTML codings. So we just have to open the PHP tags, echo username, and then close the PHP tag. And we would also want to include, after a few break tags, an anchor tag of logout.php. That I'll show you what we will be doing to log out from the session and to log out from a profile. We can just, and one more thing is, we don't want our user to write profile.php on the address line and then jump on the profile page, because we want him to log in, and that's when if he logs in, he would start a session and his session ID would be saved. Only then, what if he writes profile.php on the address line of your website and jumps to the profile page? There the website wouldn't be able to get the session ID because he did not start a session, which would have the problem in fetching the user ID and also the username. So that would be something which you wouldn't want the user to see a bad website page. So in order to avoid that, we'll write a small code here. That is, either you can write the code or you can just include a file. I would recommend you to create a new file and write PHP, and then we'll write at sessions session and start. We are aiming at session at start, and if is set ID, that means if the session ID is set, then you want to do that, else you want to destroy the session. So if the session is set, you don't need the code to do anything, so just leave that blank and save this page as something like required.php, That means this coding is to be required on every page where you want the user to view the page only if after he has logged in to the website. Let's just remove the spaces there, and yeah. So in the profile page we'll just include that here, include the file here, that is required.php. So in the required.php file where we had written here session start, so you don't require to write this line here, because it'll automatically write the line when you have included this file. That means you have included this code here, so there's session start written there, so you don't need to write another session start, so that won't be a problem there. Okay, so that is basically that. Okay, so what if the session is not set, and if he's trying to go to profile.php, we would redirect him to the login page, or anywhere you want to you want him to go and log in, or show him the problem which he's facing now. So for now we'll just make it login.php. Okay, that's profile page. So if he's not logged in, and if he is not logged in and the session is not made, he'll be redirected to login.php, where he can log in and create the session. So that's about it, and we'll just make the logout page. In the logout page we want to destroy the session that the user has made. That is what logout means. So in order to do that, you have to start the session in order to close it. So we'll just make a small check whether the session was started or not. If is set, same thing like the required.php. If the session was set, then destroy it, else destroy it too. We want to destroy it in both the cases, because if the user has clicked on the logout button, he basically wants to get out of the session. So that will be logout.php. Okay, let's just test it out. Okay, the username we have registered is test, and password is number 345. Okay, so we have logged into our profile page, and the username is test. And now if I go back to the login page by just typing in login.php, no changes, nothing. Okay, what if I write profile.php now? It'll redirect me to the profile page where I'll be still logged in. What if I log out? And okay, it is redirected to logout page because we did not redirect the user, we just destroyed the session. So we need to redirect the user there to our login page, or anywhere where you want him to go after logging out. We'll just place it in both the cases. Okay, and at that page. And what if now we would want to go to profile.php? It doesn't take us because the session has been destroyed. You can't go to profile.php. And if I log in again, we'll go to the profile, and if I go back to the login page and then again type in profile.php, it'll take me to the profile page where I'll be logged in as my own username. Okay, so I'll log out now and I'll log in by another user. Okay, so I've logged in as test2, and now what if I go to login.php and then again back to profile.php, I'll be logged in as test2. So that's how sessions basically work. You can save as many session things, anything like as you like, and when you log out, it'll log you out, and then if you try to go to profile.php, it won't take you because there isn't any session saved. And as we had written a code in the a required file, that's required file, that if the session is set, that's fine. If the session is not set, then take the user to login.php. That's what is going on here, because the session is not set and the user wants to go to profile.php, it redirects him to login.php. So basically that's how things work. And basically when you log in, you are displaying the test, his username. You can display anything from the database using his unique session ID. You just need to write the code where select everything from the users where the ID is equal to your session ID, and fetch basically everything from the website database. So we have just the username here. So that's about it, and log out. So that's what sessions is about. I hope you understood the part, because I've taken these small parts and elongated them to a big tutorial just so that you understand the concept. There are many other ways to implement this, but I found this to be easy way to understand these sessions part. You can go more deeper into sessions when you want more complicated session variables in your website. Basically this is how sessions work, and you can use this thing in your social networking, or basically anywhere where you want the users to log in, and just go to few pages where you want the users to see the page only when they are logged in. So that's about it. If you have any questions, any doubts, you can contact me on my channel. So thank you.